close, so close I can taste it like butter on the toast. So I keep a toast close to a hood near you. Keep it G, I don't know you, you don't know me too. FYI, it's one life, take a chance with the dice, but don't step to the tables if your chances ain't nice. One life, you don't stop.
Yeah. That's how it goes. You can check that out. We got that on our MySpace page. Probably be on the Ink Pen Perspective album, looking to drop in December. So, yeah, that's just, like I said, that's more radio type, you know what I mean, trendy songs. But I mean, we have a lot of substance and content, you know what I mean. I think originally when hip hop first started back in the 80s, it was educational. You know, groups like Sugar Hill Gang, Melly Mel, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, Run DMC. You know what I mean. A lot of them had messages in their songs. You know what I mean. And we need to get back to that. A lot of it's dancing and entertainment now. And so-called, you know, hip hop has become, you know, commercial, and you got a lot of quote unquote. Can I say the term jigaboo?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we just entertain, you know, it's a lot of them just entertaining them and, you know, putting on that smiley face rather than, you know, I would say back in the late 80s, you know, the FBI was sending letters to NWA trying to ban hip-hop. You know what I mean? They were scared of it because of the influence that we had. Now we're the face of America, you know what I mean? The Olympics, all them gold medals were won by people like us. Right. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's coming back around, you know what I mean? But we have to be prepared when it comes back around. So get educated, you know what I mean? Learn your skills, learn your crafts, you know what I mean? Get in touch with yourself and God and put him first, and you know what I mean? It's time to focus on us.
Okay. All right, now, I have a question.
Okay.
See, this is going to be like the older generation asking the younger generation, because what I'm trying to do is build this bridge. And I know I have a lot of people that are my age and maybe a little older. They probably ready to turn off the TV. Don't turn it off. We're going to educate.
Not yet.
We're going to educate you. So I'm going to ask the question from the, you know, older perspective.
Okay.
What makes hip-hop, I mean, you know, because I have looked at my grandkids and they was like, oh yeah, they can really rap. And then they say, oh no, they can't rap. I was like, well, both of them sound the same to me. So what makes a rap song a rap song? What is the difference between playing a song and they be like, no, they can't even rap, and they be cracking up laughing? I'm like, they sound good to me. They had is it the beat? Is it the word? Explain to me.
That's a great question. I like that question.
Okay.
Actually, first of all, you gotta understand hip hop. First of all, it is an art form. So you have to understand it from that perspective. It's not just rappers or artists just going up there just rhyming for the sake of rhyming. It's a very intricate and articulate art form. That when it's done correctly, you know, it's a beautiful art form, and it can paint beautiful pictures.
Right.
I feel that being that I'm a hip hop artist myself, I feel that it's certain rhyme patterns, you know, that you follow. It does have something to do with the beat as well. It's a marriage between the beat and the lyrics. You have different rhyme patterns, rhyme schemes, different ways you can put words together that rhyme, that connect and create a song. So you have to understand that it is an art form first and foremost.
You know, I would like to elaborate on that. It's a skill. Just as anybody who's been playing the piano or guitar since they were 3 years old or 10 years old, I've been rhyming since I was 13. So I've got 10 years, I got a decade of you know, writing and wordplay, and you know what I mean. I take what I learned from school and, you know, my street education and my formal education, you know, and I combine that, and I express my views and my observations through my music. It's a form of expression, artistic expression. So in that sense, if there's a lack of content, then I would say that's more so the commercial rap music. Real hip hop is fundamentally, you know what I mean, it comes from the soul, it comes from within, you know what I mean. We speak for people, we represent a generation that's lost, you know what I mean. A lot of young black males, you know, statistically, 1 out of 3 of us are in the criminal justice system. You know what I mean? I can count on numerous hands, you know, how many people that I know personally that have been in and out of that system, and, you know, dealt with it myself from time to time. You know, it just happens. It's the environment that we come from. It's a product of that, and, you know, the things that our forefathers had to go through to get us to this point. Like she said, James Brown and Jackie Wilson, and, you know, just they had to deal with a lot of stuff to where, you know, they couldn't even really they couldn't use the restaurants, you know what I mean? They couldn't use the same, you know, water fountains, the buses, and, you know, you go back to the boycotts and the 50s and 60s, the civil rights movement. I mean, that was just 50, 60 years ago.
Yeah, not that long. Right?
You know what I mean? So now you've got pro ball players getting millions of dollars, you got rappers getting millions of dollars, when 50, 60 years ago, they didn't even want to eat at the same table with us. So, you know, it's a big step for us. And we really have to start taking responsibility, not just looking at it as far as, well, I'm getting paid. No, you're actually saying something to these kids, because kids 3 or 4 years old are learning these songs they're hearing on the radio, and they're repeating them. But they're repeating things that have no meaning or no substance behind them. They're not learning anything from it. So we need to start taking responsibility and putting the content and the message back in music. Still have fun, because it is, you know, it's a fun music. Like you say, I mean, the R&B and the funk, you know, George Clinton and all that was the fun music of that generation, and hip hop is the fun music of this generation. But even then, it still had some meaning to it. You know what I mean? And that's what it's got to get back to. That's what it's lacking right now. That's why I feel like a lot of the older generations can't relate to it, because they don't hear the meaning or the message behind it.
Yeah, because all I want to hear is a 1 and 1 is 2, because my great-granddaughter is jumping around a Soldier Boy, talking about doing like this. I'm like, okay, now, and then 1 and 1 is what? 1, 2, 3. You can't get past 4, and you 2, and you talk about Soldier Boy. Oh, come on, that's you know, I mean, okay, that's the fun part. We have fun.
Right.
You have 5 minutes of fun, because it's going to take a lifetime of seriousness, because you can't have fun all your life. Nope. And I know I'm 54. Get ready to be 55. Oh my goodness, 55 years old. And I run into these 55-year-old men still out here trying to, you know, get with the little girls, talking about Soldier Boy. And you know, you got to figure out what you're put here for. You're not an accident. And I know these 55-year-olds, they not looking at me, because they looking at them 25-year-olds. Well, what y'all going to talk about? Y'all don't even have the same music, same background, same culture, same nothing. But you want to use a woman as, you know, putting on your shoulder or on your arm as an ornament, like, look at this young thing I have. But what y'all talking about and what y'all doing, because we better get serious about life, and you better figure out why you're here. I was figuring out at 55, I read this book called Purpose-Driven Life. Turned 50 and read that book at the same time. I said, oh, all that little stuff that I thought was important is not important. And okay, now I want to talk about some heavy stuff here. I'm sick of these gym shoes, $300. Come on, and you spending $300 on some gym shoes, and your baby looking raggedy, and your baby's hair not combed. Okay, now, am I having an illusion? I need you all's input on not only the girls, you know, and I shouldn't say Deborah Rose, but I am, because I know when I went in there one time, I was like, these prices are crazy.
Yeah.
No, you need to know where they came from for $2, and they charge you $60 or $200, and those are doughboy prices, not for the normal person. No. The doughboy, because believe me, this industry, it's only a few things black people can make money at. And when it came down to hair, they figured out, oh, these women in the basements making money from hair, so they regulated it. They figured out the morticians, because at one time a white man would not touch a black man as far as doing an autopsy or doing the, you know, putting, you know, making them ready for the funeral. They would not touch them. But they figured out, the cash flow over there. Now all the small funeral homes are being bought up. They're being bought up. So what's the next thing? If you want to be a black